Well, Titans fans, here we are again. But this time, the Titans take it to a whole nother level of terribleness. A whole new level unlocked of terribleness by the Tennessee Titans, man. You know, I've been a fan of this team since I was 12 years old, which was 11, so 15 years ago. And, it just seems like, the team that I'm watching now has to be the worst Titans team I have ever seen play. This is worse than Wisenhunt. This is worse than Wisenhunt. This isn't even like Wisenhunt level. No, this is worse than Wisenhunt. This is like a whole new territory of bad that the Titans are doing to us fans. This is different. And I say that because, look at the team. Look at the team. Kid Wisenhunt was terrible. And when he was the coach 10 plus years ago, at the time, I said, I don't have any expectations for Ken Wisenhunt. He's a horrible head coach. We're going to be a very bad football team. We're going to be very bad with Ken Wisenhunt because he is a literal, I'm going to be nice and say he was just a bad coach, but he was really bad. He was really, really bad. But with Brian Callahan, you got the number 1 overall pick. You got guys on this team that are making more money than they should, and we'll get into that. Yeah. We had expectations because Callahan had the number 1 pick, Cam Ward. And we said last year, it's Will Levis's fault. Well, Will Levis is technically still on the roster, but he's obviously not going to play for the Titans again. So now that you have the number 1 overall pick, now that you have the quarterback, why is it getting worse than it did with Levis? Levis actually put up 30 points one time. Come on. I'm not saying Levis is better than Ward. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is Callahan, man. It just seems like he makes his players worse. I said this on Monday. Last Monday I said this. I said, listen, Brian Callahan is not a quarterback whisperer. Matthew Stafford was a good quarterback. He was on a bad football team. Okay? Peyton Manning already won a Super Bowl without Brian Callahan as the quarterback coach in Indianapolis. And then Joe Burrow, national champion, threw for over 50 touchdown passes, or something like that, right? And he's still pretty good without Callahan, even though, now, looking at it, okay, the Bengals do not look good because Burrow's hurt, but that's a different team, not my team. So, I'm going to stick to my team. And just everything else around this football team just looks so, just so lost, man. The team comes out unprepared every week. The team looks lost. They commit these dumb penalties. And Brian Callahan doesn't know what he's doing. The guy literally looks like a lunatic calling plays. It's embarrassing. It's insanity. I didn't know. Look, when he didn't know the rules against Denver, I said, I'm done. I said, I'm done with this guy. I said, the fact that you put your rookie quarterback in a horrible position, you should be absolutely fired. Maybe not in that game, but during this season, yeah, you're not going to make it, buddy. You're not going to make it. Dude, he didn't even call plays in Cincinnati. That's what they said. That is what the Bengals fans were trying to warn us, that this guy never called plays. So why did we get a coach that never called a play for the Cincinnati Bengals? That's like a team hiring Nick Holtz as their head coach, even though he doesn't call the plays here. And he should go too, because he ain't doing nothing either. Denard Wilson as well. I think Denard Wilson, I don't know what it is. It could be his fault. It may not be his fault altogether. But let me just say about Denard Wilson real quick, and we'll get to players. Denard Wilson had, I don't know if it's the players, but why did the Colts run the same play, bootleg after bootleg after bootleg after bootleg, and Titans couldn't do anything about it? Oh, and, horrible tackling. Horrible tackling. So now we can't tackle. So we come out here unprepared, undisciplined, and we look lost, and now we just can't tackle. We just can't tackle. We cannot tackle. I think I counted 5 missed tackles on the Jonathan Taylor run, and I think there was another play, I want to say it was a touchdown play, where I counted a few missed tackles. This happened last week when Puka Nacua scored a touchdown on a handoff. I counted like 3 or 4 missed tackles on that, so now we can't tackle. Okay. Yeah, you probably should be fired for that, Brian Callahan. Now your team looks lost, just lost, and now they can't tackle. Now they can't tackle. So before you say Denard Wilson needs to be the head coach, have you seen our defense lately? Hasn't been very good. Listen, nobody on this coaching staff is going to fix this thing this year. It's going to be next year. This team can go 0-17. It's that bad. It's that bad. And I hate that for Cam, because Cam is too good to be on a team that's really bad around him. He just is. Calvin Ridley dropped another critical pass today, not surprising. But this time, he had it actually in his hands, and it just fell out of his hands as he went to the ground. Like, what? So, Calvin Ridley is out here gambling again. Cool. Yeah, okay, okay, that makes sense. But let me guess, he goes somewhere else and he catches everything. Because, all our players leave here and they go somewhere else and just do fine. Malik Willis, ring a bell. He proved it when he came back here last year and literally destroyed us. Jerry Sneed can't play defense apparently now. Cool. All right, $70 million. Here you go. Go have fun. Yep, that's exactly what it looks like. Tony Pollard, okay. But these slow developing runs, even him, I'm just like, okay, it's the same thing every week. I don't know, man. Before halftime, why did Brian Callahan, before halftime, it's before halftime, why is Brian Callahan kicking a 60-something yard field goal when you should have went for it and we had plenty of time to go for it? It's not like there's 3 seconds left in the half. Buddy, what are you doing? And then Joey Slye misses it. And then I think it's the third quarter. The same thing happens again. We have a chance to go for it, and Callahan doesn't do it. And he literally kicks the field goal with Joey Slye, and he missed it again. But this time, they get a delay of game after coming out of a timeout. And Joey Slye misses a field goal. a 62, move him back to kicking from 62, even though he missed it from 64. Insane. Insane. And then, before the half, shout out to the fans for this. They're screaming, fire Brian. And then when Burke Nihill comes out to do the Ring of Honor with Mike Keith, the fans are literally booing at Burke Nihill. It's bad, people. It's bad. It's really bad, guys. It's a joke. And you're not going to fix it this year. Listen, if you fire Callahan, I understand. I want him gone just as bad as anyone else. But who's gonna get this team back up? This coaching staff, I don't even think it's just Brian Callahan, because apparently they don't believe in Denard Wilson because the team is missing tackles. Golly. Jeffrey Simmons, what did he do today? What did Jeffrey Simmons do today? Like, seriously, like what did Jeffrey Simmons do today? He didn't do anything. Neighbors just got home and I kind of just screamed. Oops, my bad. Sorry, neighbors. But, yeah, Jeffrey Simmons, what did you do today? $100 million. What did you do? Monty Hooker. What did you do? Jerry Sneed, literally getting stiff-armed into the dirt. What are you doing? This defense looks like trash. Just no wonder why the fans are booing. Guys, it's the same thing every week. And Cam, yes, he threw a bad interception. He threw a really bad interception. But Cam actually got a little better as the game went on. I thought the offensive line wasn't bad, even though, yeah, it was 4 sacks. I didn't think they played too bad. I think some of those sacks are on Cam holding on to the ball too long. But he's a rookie. I hope he figures it out, because he ain't figuring it out with Callahan, that's for sure. Him, his dad, and Denard Wilson can all go with Nick Holtz. Bye. Bye. Toodles. Y'all, good luck. Hope you get on your feet, but it's not going to be here. DK, thought DK played all right, but these wide receiver screens, trash. LK played well. I thought he played well. And you know, just, you know, these rookies are looking better than these veterans. How is this possible? It's insane. And I just read a tweet. Where you got guys in the locker room like Peter Skoronsky, I think Calvin Ridley, and I want to say, I forgot the other player, but they all left the locker room before the media even got there. Think about that. There were 3 Titans players, maybe more, who left the locker room after the game was over, before the media could even talk to them. They just left. Yeah. If that doesn't tell you Brian Callahan needs to be fired, I don't know what else does. That is sending a message of, hey, we're done with this BS. We're done. What are we going to... Because as a player, what am I going to tell the media? Oh, we got to stop beating ourselves. Oh, we got to stop doing these penalties. Guys, it's the same thing every week. They say the same thing to the media every week. Why should they talk to the media? Why should they talk? Why should anybody talk to the media? I'm surprised Brian Callahan made it to the press conference. The post-game press conference. He should have been fired before he could even give his speech. Insane. This team is... This is worse than Wisenhunt. This is worse, man. This is worse. Man, this is just... Oh my God, it's bad. It's like I've never seen a Titans coach ever be this bad. Munchak wasn't as bad as this. Munchak was terrible, but he wasn't as bad as this. This is like a whole new level of bad. The Titans haven't won a game since Thanksgiving month. And that when they beat the Houston Texans in Houston, which was a big win. I mean, dude, it's just bad. This is really bad. Not only can Callahan not be a good coach, he can't call plays. So what are we doing with him? He's awful. He's awful. This is first class awfulness right here. This is bad. This is just bad. Unbelievable, man. It's every single week with this football team. Nothing ever gets better. You tell me one thing that has gotten better this week than it has gotten better in the previous weeks. I'm listening. Because if anything, things got a lot worse today. A lot worse. This isn't anything new. Callahan has lost games because he's a terrible coach without Levis at quarterback. So you can't use that Levis excuse anymore because Levis ain't playing for the Titans anymore. Even though he's technically on the roster, he's not going to suit up for this team anymore. Watch him go somewhere else like the Vikings, and then let's say McCarthy gets hurt again and Levis comes in and absolutely lights it up because it just makes sense. Insane. There should be another fireable offense. You let Malik Willis go, and he comes in and literally embarrasses you on your home turf. Literally stiff arm. No, this is not the first time that L'Jarius Sneed has gotten stiff arm. No, he got stiff armed by Malik Willis. Yeah, he got stiff armed by Malik Willis. We gave up to get a 7th round pick, which a 7th round pick ain't get you nothing really. So, was it worth it? No, it wasn't. This is terrible. This is terrible. I don't know what else Callahan can do to fix this thing because he has had so many chances. We lost 52 to something. 52 to 14, I think it was, against the Lions, and Callahan just keeps running the same play at his own in the goal, not at his own, but in Lions territory for a 4th and goal. Like, I don't understand, man. It's the same thing every week. The guy can't call plays. The guy can't coach. Apparently, the guy just looks lost. He looks so. I've never seen a head coach. Even the broadcasters on CBS are saying, Callahan, what are you doing? And this isn't even the worst part. We're down 3 scores with, I think, 11 minutes left in the 4th quarter, if I recall. And we're just taking our time. We're just snail pacing to the huddle. Why? Sorry about that. A loud car just passed. But what are we doing? Why are we going at a snail's pace to get back to the huddle when we're down 21 points and we need to score it now? What are we doing, Callahan? Why aren't we going fast? And then there's 8 minutes left and we're not calling timeout? This guy needs to be fired today. He really does. But my only thing is, who is going to fix it this year? Denard Wilson, have you seen his defense lately? I mean, Bones Fossil, if you want to point to a bright spot on this coaching staff, Bones Fossil has been the only guy I can say that has done a great job. Chimere Dike looks great. The special teams tackling is way better than it was last year. Way better. So if you want somebody to be interim coach, I'm not saying he's going to fix it, but I'll tell you what. He definitely has one piece of the team already ready to go. Whereas Callahan, it's like offense and defense looks atrocious. Like I said, I know Camworth threw the bad pick today. He'll learn from it. But he ain't learning it from Callahan, because Callahan ain't doing nothing to teach him to not do it. Apparently. It's getting to the point where I just don't know if I can keep this up. What am I going to talk about on this channel? How the Titans lost another stupid game? Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You want me to come on here and be like, oh, well, Cam played good today. Like, if A.O. Manor looks good, what do you want me to say? I think that's great, but it's a team effort, guys. Everybody knows in team sports, it is a team effort, and that is how you win games. It's not just one guy. It's not just two guys. You need a whole squad of players to literally make the team win. That is the definition of team sports, people. You gotta have guys on the team who play together to find a way to win. And with a team like this, who is young, doesn't have a lot of talent, and it needs wins, you need a coach in there that is going to believe in their guys, and you need a coach in there that is going to do the best they can to get their team the best opportunity to win. Listen to me closely. I will never attack Brian Callahan as a man because, listen, he's got a family. That is none of my business. That is his personal life. I really hope that Brian Callahan lands on his feet somewhere. All right? I pray for him to go somewhere and do good things somewhere else. But he cannot, for the life of me, coach a football team to save his life right now. I don't even know if he can be an offensive coordinator. He could be a position coach. Maybe he can coach the quarterbacks up. But, I mean, other than that, I can't see him doing anything else right now. What I don't understand is how he got a coaching job when he hasn't even worked his way up to even calling the plays somewhere. He may have game planned, but Cincinnati's offense looks just as good without him. I know they looked awful today. Trust me, they looked really bad today. But overall, their offense was still really good without Brian Callahan in there. So I say that to say this. Just because you have done things on your resume that look good and may raise an eyebrow, and that's just not coaching, that's just anywhere, right? Just because you've done a few things at a certain level of a job, that does not mean you deserve to be a head coach. It's the same thing at a job. Just because you're really good at being a cashier does not mean you need to be a manager of a store. Does not mean you need to run a store. Just because you're a really good cashier and people like you does not mean you need to be a manager. And trust me, I have had jobs where there are people that were good employees, but then they got the manager role and they were terrible. And that is what I'm witnessing right now. Someone that has been good at maybe a few things at their career, but then they get the big job and they can't do it. They just can't do it. Like I said, I pray for Callahan. I will never attack him as a man. I believe in God and all this other stuff. So I pray for him to go out there and get on his feet wherever he goes I'm just saying, I wish you and your family nothing but the best, wherever you may go. But right now, he can't even be an offensive coordinator in the NFL. He can't even be that right now. No team out there is going to want him to call plays for them. I guarantee it. How come the Panthers look better than us today? They destroyed the Falcons, I think 30-0. Bryce Young looked great out there. The Panthers offense looked more functional than the Tennessee Titans. I guarantee you if we play the Panthers, we're getting smoked. I guarantee if we play the Saints, we're going to lose. Because Brian Callahan just cannot be a head coach. Not even an offensive coordinator. He may get a position role as a quarterback's coach, but he can't do it here. He can't do anything here. He needs to just go. They should have let him go when they let go of Rand Carthon. And shout out to Rand Carthon. He's doing well. He's at CBS Sports HQ. I've seen him do work there at nights, watching him at nights, on the TV. Some of the stuff he says is really smart, but just because he's a really good, broadcaster or analyst rather, that does not mean he needs to be a GM of a football team. My point exactly about Brian Callahan. And maybe Callahan can do that. Maybe he can be an analyst, take a year off, Seen it? He can be an analyst somewhere. He may be really good at that. He might be like, oh, do you see this? Why didn't... Yeah, he can do that. I want the best for him, okay? I'm just saying he can't be a head coach of a football team. Not even an offensive play caller. He can't do that either. No team out there that I can think of. I don't even know if the Saints would take him right now. He's that bad at doing it. I'm not saying I can get in there and do any better, but I'm definitely not going to run up the middle plays all the dang time. And he doesn't let Cam play. That's one thing about Vrabel that I did like. He did let Levis play, and that's why Levis, wasn't bad under Vrabel. Because he let him play. He let him play. Sometimes you just got to let him play and learn. And I just think Callahan has him handcuffed to his system, and it's just awful, man. It's just awful. Get rid of him, please. Just get rid of him. I know you can't fix it, but you got to get rid of him. He's like on another level of awfulness. It's time to move on. Like I said, I wish nothing but the best for the Callahans, and his dad can go with him. This offensive line stinks. He can go with him. I don't care. I think his dad needs to just retire at this point. I mean, the speed of the game is different than it was when he was coaching. It's just my opinion. But whatever. So yeah. Titans need to fire Callahan. What else needs to be said? It's awful. It's awful, guys. I know I said hopefully better days ahead, but I feel like I say that all the time. Let's just hope that things get better, I guess, even though it's not going to get better anytime soon. I don't know. At least the Texans are 0-3 too. I guess that's nice. They look terrible. But the Texans are whooping us next week, so it doesn't even matter. Anyways, it's been your boy. Gotta fix this. Again. Gotta fix this again and again and again and again. Just gotta fix it. Gotta fix it. Tighten up, everybody.